11 today, 12 on Saturday. Our loads are now much heavier, meaning that we're sustaining 6, 8, 10, 12 play drives, working just about every situation and scenario from usual mixed down stuff to third, medium, and long. Red zone ball coming out today. Several 2-minute scenarios, just watching our guys play the ball, everybody off the field, and there's progress and there's a ways to go. Our level of consistency is not where it needs to be. Our level of physicality is not where it needs to be, and we really have to just drive that in, knowing that it takes time. It takes time to improve that. It takes time to establish that type of DNA and mentality, but we're not coming off of it. It's the only way we can progress from a physical standpoint is to practice it, watch it on tape, learn from it, walk through it, teach it, and then rep it again and again and again. And then just from a level of performance, there are some real bright spots, and then again, inconsistency. So we're going to keep working, going to keep pushing, encouraging, challenging, and making sure we're doing it together. Everything we do is like this, but we go hard, and spring football around here is very serious, and we work really, really hard, and so that's what we're going to keep doing.
What are the benefits of having a former head coach of 10 years like Charlie on a staff, and what kind of attracted you to
Sure, no, he's invaluable. It starts with he's an awesome human being. And the guys that we hire, we want to make sure that box has to be checked first and foremost. His ability to communicate, to relate, establish relationships, to be a teacher. He's just a great teacher and connector. And when you can connect like that, you have that experience, you have that credibility, then, it goes a long way. And then he's a disciplinarian. He holds guys to high standards. He's done it as a head coach, as a coordinator. He's been on championship programs. So guys like that, it's awesome. It's a little bit surreal to have guys like that on our staff, and we got a good chunk of them on our staff. So it's been fun watching all these guys work together. And he said it the other day, the fact that these guys put all egos aside. Out there, it's to watch guys like that. And I could say this for the entire staff, guys that they come every day to work like as if they have everything to prove. You know what I mean? And it shows up, and I think it's contagious, and I think our players have responded well. We just got to keep pushing.
What did you like about the skill set of Mitchell Agood to make you want to add him? And where in the front seven are you still looking for help?
We can't talk about anyone
Okay.
signed an LOI with us yet.
He is not signed. He has announced but hasn't signed. With regard to, thank you. I thought him announcing might have given clearance. With regard to the front seven, do you still have your eye out for more edge players, inside backers, defensive tackle? Where is there a need still in your eyes?
Everything. We need to get better on our entire team. Us as coaches, as players, as an organization, we got to get better. And the levels of physicality in the front seven and the offensive line, the tight end box, have got to be elevated. Part of it is depth, part of it is strength and conditioning, part of it is practice, the other part is technique and fundamentals, and then it ends with mentality. And we have to establish a mentality and an identity by the way we practice and by the way we play. So those positions, we're never going to stop trying to add pieces. I guess that's the best way to put it. We're looking for explosive guys that play with a ton of physicality and have an edge to them. You have to play at the line of scrimmage with a disposition where you're gonna affect the other side of the ball, and that's an every down thing. That's not a sometimes thing. So we're gonna keep doing that.
Mario, your quarterbacks are all looking good, at least what we're viewing them. Are you interested in creating a package or packages for your backup quarterback, whoever that ends up being, on a regular basis so they can get into games, or is that something you normally would not do?
I'm more interested in just continuing to install the offense and helping guys get better. I think any comment outside of that starts a narrative that could go this way or that way, and I just don't want to do that. I say that respectfully. I just don't. We're learning a system, and our team is very systematic and process oriented, and they've all done a really, really good job. And whether it be a quarterback, an offensive lineman, a wide receiver, it doesn't matter the position. If a guy shows that he can help us win, he's going to play. We're going to find ways to get guys in games, and that relates to anybody on the field.
Can you say anything specifically about how Jake is doing, or how?
Oh, how guys are doing.
Garcia and how
Okay.
Tyler.
I think I'm a little bit guarded at quarterback questions.
Obviously, Jakari is new, but I know he's doing well. But I'm talking about Jake.
Jake's doing a great job. So has Jakori. You know, I think the quarterback room in general, they're very well coached. You know, as a leader, Coach Gaddis has done a great job. As a quarterback coach, Frank Ponce is a very detailed coach. He's very demanding. You know, he's very attention, detail oriented. And what you see guys doing, just being very, I would say, they're very accurate because their decision-making processes are being sped up and they're being held accountable to do so. You know, so pre to post-snap read decisions are becoming much more clear. Understand the offense and where to go with the ball when it calls for it from a read standpoint, an RPO standpoint, whatever it may be. It's all the efficiency and the speed of it's getting better and better. So those guys are all getting better.
What have you seen from Jalen Rivers? I know when you got here, you were probably still rehabbing surgery and everything. Now he's kind of starting to get back into the swing of things, getting back into reps and everything. What do you see from him, both like kind of on the mental side of things and staying focused, and also now getting a chance to see him actually get going?
No, yeah, I like to talk about that guy. That guy's impressive, man. That guy's an impressive young man, first and foremost, and then he is a big, physical, athletic, tough guy. It's great to have him out there. Now he's just about full, and he takes about 75% of the reps. He's got great power, great balance and body control. He understands leverage, uses his hands really well. Hard to have the combination of a guy that's light-footed but heavy-handed, and he has that. So when he strikes you and he gets hands on you, I mean, you feel it. You know, he does a good job knocking people that way and can really slide his feet and anchor and protect the quarterback. Very smart, great communicator, challenges his teammates, challenges himself. A tremendous blessing to have Jalen on this team.
And what about, did you see like anything, like I said, when you first got here and he was still super limited, still recovering and everything, did you see anything like off the field wise about how he kind of stayed mentally focused, stayed prepared and everything to get back into the field?
Well, you saw a large human, you know, I mean, that was a big thing is, you know, we need to increase the size and length of our team, right? The girth of our football team. When he walked down the hallway, you know, impressive on the hoof, and you were like, well, I hope, you know, his play matches what he looks like, and he hasn't disappointed. He's been excellent. You know, he really, really has, and looking forward to him. I mean, he's really cleared. You know, we're just going very, I wouldn't say methodical, but we're being, I would say, a little bit on the conservative side, even though he has been fully cleared to participate.
Let's do a couple more.
With the physicality, you mentioned you wanted to keep us moving, right?
Mm-hmm.
Curious, have you seen growth since first practice till now? From the guys?
We have, you know, and you know, I stay on it pretty hard, and I'm sure sometimes, you know, I come at that really hard, right? Because typically in the games and the levels that we're trying to accomplish here at the University of Miami, that's going to be such a big part of it. It's critical to the growth of our program. But you see it in spurts, right? Because teams that can play with good knee bends and flat backs in the fourth quarter, that can play with their hands inside, roll their hips, run through contact, those teams are typically going to be successful, right? Their angles are going to be better, right? They're going to be able to wrap up and finish plays better. So you got to practice it. You know, preaching it is fine, talking about it is great, but you got to practice it, and when it's not exactly what you look like, you teach off and you go out and do it again, and you see growth, you see progress towards what we're trying to be. I don't think that ever stops. I don't think you ever leave and say, wow, we're stopped, but there is progress, and we got to keep doing it. And the fact that we're lifting very aggressively during this time of year, because we're going day on, day off with lift days in between, and heavy walkthrough and install days in between, all that helps. All right, so you in essence have, what is that, about 6-7 weeks of just developmental time, a lot of it dedicated towards the physical nature of our football team.
Coach, you talked about the defense and last scrimmage. Are there a few guys that are standing out in terms of effort, physicality, and maybe pretty consistent throughout the spring here?
There's a good chunk of them. You know, and typically the reason I don't single out certain guys because you're always going to miss guys, and I almost like to think of a press conference like this or a media opportunity like this, almost like a team meeting, you know, and I don't like to leave things out of a team meeting. So maybe I'll do a better job bringing that list with me next time. But it's a really good number of guys. It really is. And they're at all different positions. You've seen guys flash up front. You've seen guys on the edges like Jafari Harvey. He plays so hard that even if his footwork isn't perfect, he finds a way to become part of a play and impacting a play. Chance has had a great spring. you know, and has fought through some nicks and some bumps and bruises to show that, you know what, I can play when I'm a little bit banged up. You know, I think K4 has done a really good job. I think Corey has done Wayman's done a really good job. You know, Wesley's done a really good job. I've seen guys from Al Blades, Gilbert Frierson. I'll stop there knowing that there's more, but you do. There's a lot of guys that need to be commended, and we do. We always praise effort. We always reward performance. And I guess the best way to put it, there's progress. There's really good progress in some areas, and then some, you know, a little bit slower in other areas. But needless to say, there's progress. So we just got to keep our foot on the gas.
Thank you very